Hey Linda, it's Oceana here with G3 Agency with your free website audit. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a few things that either you or your team over there, your marketing team, can do. Just some small fixes that you can take care of on your website that's going to increase the amount of jobs that you're getting. If you hear that very dramatic sounding piano in the background, it's not me trying to add to the mood. My great uncle is downstairs playing the grand piano right now. So anyways, fun with working at home, right? So this is really my gift to you, Linda. I hope that you get some use out of it. The way that I operate is I give first, and the right people will come back and ask me for help, and that's how I end up getting my money in the end. But this way that I do it gives me the opportunity to help people with no expectations, which is really the only way that I feel comfortable starting out business with someone. So please feel free to take this information and use it however you want. Send it over to your guys. Have them take a look at it, and if they don't understand how to do these things and this video is not quite enough, please reach out and let me know. And of course, if you and your team want any help with this stuff, it wouldn't be the first time that my team teamed up with another team of marketers to make a campaign better. So just know that if you want to work together in the future, we can chat about that. But that's enough about me, really it is. Let's jump in here and give you some tips on this, on how to get some more jobs. So the first thing that I always look for is a big click to call phone number at the top. The reason for this is that more than half of your visitors are going to be on their on their phones. And having that phone number there prominently displayed and in a way that they could just click on it and have that phone number pull up, their phone app pull up and call you right away, that's going to make that amount of people that actually call you after landing on your site is going to increase. And then also, I want to point out your content here. So you do a good job talking about what you do, and even mentioning where you are, which is really important. But you do want to increase the amount of words on your pages. Google loves content, and basically if you can show by having lots of words about what you do, how you do, where you do it, who you do it for, what tools you use. All of this information is going to help Google to determine that you are the expert in this matter, and that's why you should be there at the top of the Google results, which is how people are finding contractors to work with. So that's definitely where you want to be. So you definitely want to increase the words on your page, definitely on the other pages as well, on all of your on your services. If you serve more than just the Houston area, make sure to have more than one service area listed. Just make sure that this is really fleshed out with lots of information. And then if I right click on an image and click Save Image As, this is a fun little trick I like to show people. So you can see that this image was saved as RS equals W, blah, blah, blah. So this is a missed opportunity. What you want to do is actually resave these images and re-upload them, but this time you want to save them as key phrases that people are actually typing into Google every single month when they're looking for your services and they happen to be in your service area. And I'm going to show you how I find those with a tool that my agency pays monthly to use. And then I'm also going to just give you a few that I think that you might enjoy using, that would be helpful to you. So first I'm going to show you, this is your profile on Ahrefs. Basically I just put in your URL and it did a little bit of magic and gave me some metrics here. So I'm going to point out a few important ones to you. This UR score is how trustworthy Google thinks that your web page is, this exact page, so in this case it's your home page. And then your DR score is that same metric but for your entire website as a whole. And these are very low scores. And how you increase these, and these scores are pretty directly going to affect how high in the results you are when someone searches for your services in your service area. And again, that's The whole point is to be in front of those people right when they're looking for you. So you want these to be high, and you also want them to be fairly even. And how you increase those is not only with those content on your page and making sure that your images are saved properly, but more importantly, with backlinks and referring domains. So backlinks and referring domains, okay, a backlink is any link that goes from another website back to yours, and a referring domain is any website that has at least one link to your site on it. So you've got out there somewhere in the universe, on the internet, 3 websites pointing to your site a total of 9 times with 9 links. And you can actually see which ones are pointing to you, and they're decent DRs. You want to make sure as you go out and you ask more websites to please put a link to your site on them, that you're asking the right websites. First of all, you want them to be relevant to you in some way. Some random, McDonald's from China is not going to be as effective as, say, a interior designer that's also in Houston, or even another concrete contractor that's in Washington, or something that if you can draw a logical conclusion between the two, then so can Google. But it's when it's just random and these DR scores are low, that's when it starts to look scammy or spammy in Google's eyes, and it's not going to help you in that case. Here are some keywords that you might want to show up for. Currently, you're not really showing up for many keywords at all. In fact, I think it was 3. Yeah, you're showing up for 3 keywords, and you're not on the first page for any of them, even your own name. So you're definitely going to want to increase that so that you show up for some keywords. And here are some that you might be interested in. I basically looked up Houston in my Keywords Explorer, and then I included the word concrete. And so that I've cross-referenced those, and now it's going to show me anything that has to do with concrete and has to do with Houston. Now, of course, this works with your other things that you offer as well, but I was just kind of focused on this because the reason, even how I found you guys, is because I found that these keywords out in Houston for concrete, because I mostly work with concrete contractors all over the Northwest, so I'm already used to concrete, and so I was looking into Texas area and kind of figuring out what the demand is over there, and I was impressed with this volume. So these are some really good keywords, which is why I reached out to concrete contractors in the Houston area to begin with. So that's why I'm focusing on concrete, is because it's just so promising. There are 4 things that I look for in a good keyword. Something that you do, somewhere that you do it, high volume, and low KD. And I'll explain each of those. So something that you do and somewhere that you do it, that's just to narrow down that you're going to be in front of the right person at the right time in the right place. And then, so that's a really important part of a good keyword, both of those aspects. And then the high volume is basically how many people are searching for that exact phrase each month. And in this case, it's 300 people are typing this exact thing into Google. And so if this was switched and it said Houston concrete, for example, well, that's not the same as concrete Houston. Those are different in Google's eyes. So there are 300 people searching this exact phrase into Google on average each month, and it's got a KD, or keyword difficulty, of 8, and that is out of 100. And you would think that 8 out of 100 is extremely low, but 8 out of 100 is actually a little bit higher than we usually like to go for, but it's not entirely out of reach. It's still doable. And this just means, how long is it going to take to get to the front page because of how much competition there is. And so this is just an estimation on Ahrefs' part, but it can kind of give us an idea about the timeline and difficulty of showing up on the first page for that. So when someone types in concrete Houston, like those 300 people are each month, this is what they get, something that looks like this. The first thing is the map pack. Often first is ads, but they're not showing up here at the moment. There is one ad right here. So this is the map pack, and that's spelled M-A-P-P-A-C-K, and it's showing the top 3 plus an ad local results on the map, so that, you know, if somebody is looking for something that's local, they could find something that's within, you know, driving distance or whatnot. Um, Even without a physical address where somebody could come and visit you, you can show up in this map pack, and that will help for people to come to your website. This directions doesn't have to be there. It can just say website there. But as much as that's fantastic and you do want to be up there, it's really even better to be down here in what's called the number one organic search result. This will get approximately 30% of all the people that come to this site. So that's about 90 visitors a month coming just from this one keyword to this site. So what we want to do is compare you to this site, and we're going to want to do this for each of the keywords that we want to show up for, because each one of them is sort of their own mini game. You have to beat out the competition for that particular keyword, but you only need to beat out the competition for a few keywords to start seeing enough traffic coming onto your website and enough of those calls coming in that you're staying busy. So it's a unique kind of strategy, but it's not terribly difficult. So what we want to do is compare you now to this competition for this keyword, and think, what is it that they're doing correctly that we can copy and do as well, and then what is it that they're not taking advantage of that we could, and therefore we could get a little bit ahead of them. So I'm noticing that they have some content here, but it's not a lot. I mean, that's not a lot of scrolling before I run out, so they definitely don't have very much content here. And then if I right click on an image, are they saving their images properly? And I'm going to say no, because TX Ready Mix Truck 1 was not on that list of keywords that people are typing in when they're looking for concrete. So I'm going to go ahead and say that they're going to be not too difficult to beat out, and that kind of reinforces that 8 keyword difficulty we saw earlier. And now we see another spot where they have a weakness, or at least I do, and I'll explain it to you. So I put in there, you know, the page that is outranking us on that keyword we want to rank for. And then I'm noticing the UR score. So this is a little bit more of a normal score, I'd say. This is what I would expect most to be for UR, and that's just this one page, their home page. But this is where I see their weakness. Their DR score, or the trustworthiness of their entire site, is a lot lower. That's causing an imbalance, and I bet you that's because they're sending a lot of these referring domains over to their home page, and they're neglecting the other pages on their site because they don't see, you know, maybe they don't have that much content on the other sites, so they don't really care if people see them. Well, Google doesn't like that. It likes a well-rounded site. So basically, we'd want to beat them out by bringing up our UR score to match theirs, and then bringing up our DR score to match that. So if you had your UR and DR scores around, you know, around 20, 25, and then you had lots of content on your page, you'd be probably outdoing them pretty easily. So, okay, well, that is that. Here's my information here. If you would get back to me with some feedback, I really appreciate it. I'm always trying to improve on these, do a little bit better for the next person, so I can affect them even better, you know. And of course, if you're interested in seeing if a partnership with my agency G3 makes sense, I'd be happy to meet with you and introduce you to Nick. He's a colleague of mine, and he knows a lot about this stuff too. And we would love to chat with you about your goals and just see if there's any way that we can help you continuing forward. So thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.